It was suggested to me that I might be a workaholic, and I ended up going to a Workaholics Anonymous meeting.
They have those?
They do, yeah. They run it just like a 12-step program. So I show up at a school and sit down in this room, and I learned a couple of things. One, I wasn't really a workaholic, so that was I was just excited, young and excited about this business that was getting going. But I took some really good lessons from it. One of them was around letting go, and it just started with that meeting of like, well, look, you're here for an hour with your device off and can't do your work. You got to sit here and be present in this room. And look, it didn't all come crashing down.
Walk me through a time where you were really at a point where you were just like burned out. And what did you learn about, the business? What did you learn about yourself moving forward?
I've always been tuned into sort of the risk of burnout. And I think I've done a pretty good job of avoiding it, surprisingly, considering how many clients we have and what the team has grown to. But early on, sort of in those like really exciting days, it was suggested to me that I might be a workaholic. And so I'm like, well, let me see if I can tackle this like any other problem. Let me see if I can, handle this. And I ended up going to a Workaholics Anonymous meeting. And I was like, well,
They have those?
they do, yeah. They run it just like a 12-step program. So I show up at a school and sit down in this room, and I learned a couple of things. One, I wasn't really a workaholic, so that was I was just excited, young and excited about this business that was getting going. But I took some really good lessons from it, and one of them was around letting go, and it just started with that meeting of like, well, look, you're here for an hour with your device off and can't think, can't do your work. You got to sit here and be present in this room. And look, it didn't all come crashing down, and so that was sort of a, like, oh yeah, it gives you some calm, gave me a little peace at that. And then the other was like, just putting some perspective on where my work laid versus maybe some other people. You can't. It's a dangerous thing to like compare the emotions of others or compare suffering or whatever. But the other people, it was me and a room full of pastors. That's who were the work. That was the profile for the Workaholics Anonymous.
Pastors, huh?
Yeah, and it was very very surprising to me until they started talking and you realized they're literally dealing with life and death all the time. I would think, well, they just, they do the thing on Sunday and that's it. No, every birth, every death, every medical emergency, everything in their entire congregation, 24/7. They cannot shut it off. And I was like, yeah, like the stuff I'm doing is important, but it's a little different, than the things that they're dealing with. And so just getting that perspective was, I think one of the early things in my, business journey that helped to just, sort of start to avoid and be careful around burnout.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think burnout really happens when we do a couple things. We kind of compare ourselves to our other contemporaries and thinking we should be further along. We get impatient and we give too much priority to too many different things. And we don't kind of take a step back. Like I was a pretty good workaholic for many years at the first agency. And then toward the end, I got to a point where I was like, dude, the world's still going to spin. The world's still going to be the same, regardless if I show up or not, or make a decision or make a bad decision. And then I got to a point where I just wanted to quit the agency. And then I did that one exercise I tell a lot of you guys to do is, write down on a sheet of paper all the things you hate doing that you never want to ever do again. And then after about 45 minutes of just dumping and brainstorming all that, write down the 5 things that you love doing. And then just, you're able to make the kind of transform the agency around you. And it seemed like you've probably built the business around your lifestyle, even though it's not a lifestyle business because it's a sellable asset if you want it, or you build other things. Everyone always kind of goes, a lifestyle business is not a business. I'm like, I disagree. I think all businesses should be built around us of, what we're good at, what we're not good at.
Yeah, we really share that same belief. Like I've always bristled when people say, sort of poo-poo the idea of a lifestyle business. I'm like, well, like the goal is to have a lifestyle of some sort, So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of my values around time and autonomy and I think the flexibility that people should have in life are really baked into just some of the core of how we operate. So yeah, absolutely true.
I hope you enjoyed this content. If you want more content like this, make sure you click on the link on the screen or check out your most popular podcast platform where the full episode is there. And until next time, have a swank day. What are you doing? Go check it out. Click on the link. I'll see you soon.